Hey folks, welcome to another lecture in the Spark series. So if you are so far following my playlist in the Spark, then you should be knowing that this is the continuation of last lecture, which is part 2 of writing a Bitcoin program. So uh, this video is writing a Bitcoin program when the text file is read using data frame. So in the past lecture, we have used RDD to read our data. So and we have used a few of the inbuilt functions, likewise flat map for splitting the data and map for mapping and reduce by for aggregating or something. So and yes, if and in this video and for this particular lecture, the functions that we are going to use are quite different from the previous video. Well, I have mentioned this in the past lecture also. Let me also mention here. See the see, when you are using RDD to read our text file, it reads the text file as a list of strings, and each string will refers to the each line of text file. And when you read our text file using data frame Spark's data frame, then it will read the text file as a table of a single column, and each row of the table are each line each line in from the text file. So here whole the difference here the whole difference starts, and because of how we read the data, and it follows a different way of using functions, but the end results will be of same, which is uh, which is a result of the frequency of each word from the text file. So let's start our lecture by defining our objective. So let me define my objective. So the objective here is writing a word count program when data or text file more specifically is read using Spark's RDD, sorry, data frame. And let me also specify the steps that we follow. So steps are step one. Step one will be loading the file, loading the text file, and and second step will be reading the text file, and step three will be of importing required libraries, and step four will be of actually writing our program. So writing our program will be divided into a few sections. I will let you know them when we are writing program. So we'll load the text file first. So here in the Databricks, in this catalog section, we'll be having our text files. Okay, yeah, this is our text file. Let me copy the path. Okay, so let me create a variable called file location and read our text, load our text file here. This is step one. So step two will be loading our file. So as we are using data frames, let me define the variable name as df. So df spark dot read text, and we'll specify the file location as file loc. So yeah, so let's look at our data frame. So you can see the result as spark sql data frame, and so let's look at how our data frame is. So this is our data frame with column name as value. If you are using reading text file using spark data read, I mean data frame, so it by default it creates column name as value. It's by default value. So yeah, well, I'm not sure whether you are aware or not, but there are several ways to read our text file, or I mean to display our text file. So as we are used df.show here, let me also specify some of other ways, like display of df. This is also a way. and there is also a way like df.collect, which gives us a list of tuples, like list of tuple what is values of each row. So we'll be more using display of df and df.show in this program and in this video lecture specifically. So as we are ready your data, and let's import a few of libraries. So the required libraries are from PySpark dot SQL dot functions import. We'll be using count and split and explode and also call functions. So these are the functions that we'll be using. So let me name step 3 as so yeah. So let's start our program. So yeah, well, as you can see here, our data frame is as uh, each row of our data frame is each row from the text file. So we'll be splitting that each row into a single word. So for that we need split and explode functions. So let's use them. So df dot with column in order to subject single column. So if you are not aware of what is this with column function, you can use help function on this, and the help function gives the documentation about the specified in the parentheses. So you can read what is with column refers to and what are its parameters and what does it uh, I mean what does it takes input as inputs and what does it returns. So let me brief that it will take two parameters, which is column name, which is string or name of the new column, and that we are going to create, and column which is an expression for the new column. So let's use that. uh, so let's use our df dot with column, and in the with column the first parameter will be of column name, which is words, because we are going to split the sentence into a list of strings, and we'll be using split function for that. Split takes call as column name. We'll be specifying our column name in call function. So our column that we are going to use is we are going to use split on value column, and the separator will be of a space. So let's store this again as df, or you can use any other name for that. So yeah, and the result, yes, and the result will also be of data frame with two columns, which is first as value and the second as string, and string is a element of strings. Sorry, what is the second column? And the second column is element of strings. So let's display our df. Yeah, well, I'll use display function. It will give us better view actually. So it is your choice whether to use df.show or display of df. So yeah, well, this is the value when this is the first column that we got when we just write the text file, and this is the column that we have created just now using with column function. That each word in the sentence was split into a list of strings, and use of this words column will be using explode function to create each word from the list of strings. So let me define that df dot with column, and with column takes two parameters. First parameter will be word. Let's define our new column as word, and the previous column that we have used was words because it gives us the list of words, and now we are specifying words. sorry, word as the new column, and it the function that we're going to use is explode on column words. So again, this will be a data frame, so let's store that in variable again as df. So yeah, the result is also a data frame of 3 columns, which is value from the that we created by reading our data, and words that we created using split function, and word as a new column that we have just created. And so we'll use display of df. So let's look how our new column looks. So this is our new column word, and the elements of the column are a single word from the sentences or the text file. So this is our new column, and so we'll be using we'll group by each word, and we'll be aggregating according to each word. So let's define that df dot group by the column. We need to specify the column word, and use aggregate function to count of what we are going to count each word as column. So let's it will also, so but before that, let get rid of these first 2 columns. Let's get rid of that columns, then our output will look quite quite simple to look into. So let's do that. So df equals to df dot drop, and we need to specify our column names that we are going to get rid of. First will be value, and the second column will be words. Yeah, so let's look into how display df. So yeah, this is our data frame, the final data frame that we are going to use with a single column, and items of single column are the each word, I suppose. So let's use our group by and aggregate function on the df, I mean more specifically on the column word. So let's store that into result. So again, it will be a data frame. So you can see that result is also a data frame, PySpark.data frame for data frame with 2 columns. One is a word which we actually had, and then the second column that we have created is count word with long, I mean an integer. So let's display that. Sorry, we need to display our result. So yeah, you can see that the second column that we created is frequency of each word with respect to each word. And yeah, let's name this as frequency rather than count. Use alias function and specify our name. So let's do that, and again print our results. Yeah, I think you can see that we just changed our column name from count of words to frequency. So this is our whole program. Let's do that on a single tab. So file as file path, and so let's result will be of spark dot read dot text to read our text file, and we'll specify our file path as file, and on that we'll be using with column function. With column, uh, and the column name will be words, and the function that we are going to use is split of the column that we are going to split is value, and on that we again use with column, and the next column that we are going to create is word, and the function we are going to use is explode the column name. Sorry, we haven't specified our separator, which is a space, and so the column that we are going to use to explode is words. Let's take a string, and on that drop our, let's make this look beautiful and meaningful. Drop the column names, value and words. So on that we'll use group by function, group by the column word, and use aggregate function as a count of word, and store it as alias frequency. So this is a data frame that's going to be created. So let's return the display of res. So this is the data frame, so this is the entire function. We need to use slash backslash here, otherwise it will give error for us. So let's print our results, print word count of file path as file location. So what is this? Call take two question. Oh yeah, yes, here we just made an error. So yes, I think we're good to go. Again. Yes, we are good to go. So yeah, this is the required result, and yeah, with respect to words and with respect to frequencies. So yeah, if you followed my previous lecture, there I actually gave a exercise or a challenge for you at the end of the video. See, I again repeating the same challenge here itself, here also. See, I intentionally added a integer type in the text file. So where is that? Let me show you that. It should be there. Yeah, here it is. I intentionally added an integer in the text file, and in the process of writing a program, that integer is also treated as word. Maybe you will understand this if you are if you had, well, if you understand this much more clearly, if you have uh, watched my previous lecture, I'll give you the same challenge here itself, here too. See, try to write a program, or write a function which excludes the integer part and use only the words and their respective frequencies in the results. And also I have the second part of this challenge is again the same from the last lecture, which is try to build your own user defined functions rather than using pre-built functions from the libraries. So this is a challenge, and yes, we are at the end of the video and end of the lecture. This is our program, so let me rewind that. So we'll read the text file using spark.read the text. And again, if you are not aware of what are the inputs that it takes, what is the text file, what is this function actually, you can use help function on spark.read the text. And I suppose that you are aware how to use a help function. Yes, spark.read the text file is used to read the text file, and it will read as a data frame and with column functions. And yes, I have if you are again if you are not aware of what is with column function and what does it takes, you can again use help function. And so we just split our sentences into words, a list of words. And again with using explode function, we split the list of words into each word. And again, and we just dropped our uh, the unwanted columns, which are value and words. And then again after that we group our uh, words, each word, and use aggregate function, which is count, which represents the frequency of each word, and store it as a frequency name. We are given the name as frequency. And this is how you read a text file and count the frequency of each words. And so try to explore that challenge, or exercise. And this is for the lecture, and we'll meet in other. Thank you.